Sure, I'm talking about going back to Middle-earth and reprising a little bit of Gandalf.
What?
Today we've got some massive Lord of the Rings news from Middle-earth itself, as Ian McKellen has finally confirmed that he is indeed returning as Gandalf, Elijah Wood has been spotted back in New Zealand, and Andy Serkis has revealed that the production for The Hunt for Gollum is actually ramping up. We've also got an unexpected hint that Evangeline Lilly, who plays Tauriel, might be returning to reprise her role in The Hunt for Gollum. And on top of that, some big gaming news about some rumors of a new Lord of the Rings game that is built to potentially be rivaling Hogwarts Legacy. Welcome back to Middle-earth Updates. This is Elliot, and today I'm going to break down all the Middle-earth related news for you. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that subscribe button as it helps us grow and keep the channel going. Before we dive into the updates, let's do a quick recap for anyone not familiar what this movie is actually about. The Hunt for Gollum is the brand new Lord of the Rings movie currently in development, directed by Andy Serkis himself, who of course also plays Gollum. It's being produced and written by Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, the legendary team behind the original trilogy. The movie is set for release in 2027 and takes place both before and parallel to the Fellowship of the Ring. Think of it like Rogue One, a story that connects the dots between The Hobbit and the beginning of the main trilogy. It follows Aragorn and Gandalf's mission to track down Gollum before the enemy finds him, a period that's only briefly mentioned in the original films but actually spans nearly 2 decades of Middle-earth history. Let's start off with the man himself, Ian McKellen. Ian has officially confirmed that he will be returning as Gandalf next year. In a recent appearance on the Show People podcast, he said the following.
Sure, I'm talking about going back to Middle-earth and reprising a little bit of Gandalf.
What? Any journalists in, please let us get the edit sorted first. That would be extraordinary. So you're really slowing down.
Well, I am in the sense that however hard you're working on a film, it's not as hard work as being in the theatre. Or as I now realise, anywhere near as dangerous.
This is the first time Ian has explicitly said that he's planning to return. He's still made a lot of appearances in other media, but he's mostly made hopeful comments about wanting to return, but never anything this concrete. That alone is huge, but it does come with a little concern, because back in September, Ian revealed that he's had a health scare and had to pull out of a film premiere in Canada after doctors told him he wasn't allowed to fly. He mentioned that his medical advisors said it wasn't safe to travel and that it was better to be safe than sorry. So while he clearly wants to appear in The Hunt for Gollum, it might be physically difficult for him to make the long trip to New Zealand. That said, there's still hope. Remember how Christopher Lee filmed all of his Hobbit scenes remotely in front of a green screen in London? Well, with today's technology, they could easily do the same for Ian if needed, though hopefully he'll recover fully and make the journey to New Zealand in person. At 86 years old, it's incredibly inspiring to see that he still has the energy and passion to bring Gandalf back to life again.
So I said, "You shall not bounce!"
Next up, we've got several updates from Frodo himself, Elijah Wood. You might remember that back in August at the For the Love of Fantasy Con in London, there was a huge Lord of the Rings panel with many of the original cast present. During the event, Ian McKellen announced that both Gandalf and Frodo would be back for The Hunt for Gollum, strongly implying that he and Elijah would reprise their iconic roles, even if he didn't straight out say so. And recently, Elijah appeared at Mexico's Desert Con and was asked about the film. He couldn't say much, but he did confirm something very interesting. He's read the script. According to Elijah, it's really good, there's some wonderful people involved. The thing that's so exciting is that it's really getting the creative band back together. Peter, Fran, Philippa. They're all heavily involved and it's being shot in New Zealand. This quote actually confirms quite a bit. First, if he's read the full script, it further confirms that he is indeed coming back as Frodo. It also suggests that his role might be more than just a cameo, since you wouldn't really hand the full script to someone appearing only for a brief moment. And of course, it's great to hear once again that the original creative team is back and that the filming will take place in beautiful New Zealand. That alone sounds like the perfect recipe for recapturing the magic of the original trilogy. But that's not all. Just a few days ago, Elijah went viral after crashing a wedding in Hobbiton. Yes, the actual Hobbiton set in Manta, New Zealand. He showed up with a small camera crew and completely surprised the couple, posing for photos and chatting with guests dressed as hobbits.
Oh my god! I don't want to take attention away from you. Yeah, sure.
Now that might sound like just a fun moment, but the timing lines up almost perfectly with what we're hearing about the early pre-production for The Hunt for Gollum. So while it's not confirmed, it really does look like Elijah could be back in New Zealand for early planning or camera tests for the film. Speaking of Hobbiton, weddings and long days of celebration, let me tell you, partying with dwarves in Bag End sounds great.
We'll go Baggy!
Here you go.
Let me tell you, it wasn't as fun as it might look. All I wanted to do after a while was get home, rest and take a nap. And that's when today's sponsor Manta Sleep came to the rescue. I put on their sound mask and it instantly blocked out all light and noise. I even queued up some Lord of the Rings music through the built-in headphones, and it honestly felt like drifting off into the peaceful Shire. Manta Sleep makes some of the best sleep masks and accessories you will find, perfect for a quick nap or a full night's rest. They're ultra lightweight, breathable and fully adjustable to fit anyone. And here's the best part, Manta Sleep are huge fans of Middle-earth too. So if you want to try them out or maybe pick up the perfect Christmas gift, they're offering 10% off your entire order when you speak, friend and enter. That's 10% off with code MELON. Thanks again to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Check them out using the link in the description below. Another familiar face might be returning too. Evangeline Lilly, who played Tauriel in The Hobbit, recently posted that she had wrapped filming on a project in New Zealand. In the comments, a fan then wrote, "Let's hope it's not a wrap on New Zealand and that you and Tauriel will be back soon in a certain upcoming film." To which Evangeline replied, "Working on something ... we'll see." That's about as close to a confirmation as you can get without breaking an NDA. If she really is involved, it would make perfect sense for Tauriel to appear. During the events of The Hunt for Gollum, Gollum is captured and held in Mirkwood, which is exactly where Tauriel and Legolas would be stationed. The story could easily involve them and Thranduil, showing how Gollum also then escaped during a coordinated orc attack. And with both Elijah and Andy Serkis already confirmed or spotted in New Zealand, the timing feels too perfect to ignore. Now let's talk about Andy Serkis, because he just confirmed that things are well underway. In a new interview with New Zealand YouTube channel Te Ao with Mona, Andy said he's back in Wellington right now, working alongside Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens and many members of the original art department team.
Everyone is sort of very excited to come back together again. And it's a really great energy. We've started wrecking, we started doing camera tests, we started, going back onto the mocap stage. And
It's happening.
It's all happening. It's all good.
That lines up perfectly with everything else we've been hearing. Elijah being there, Evangeline dropping hints, and Ian preparing to return to Middle-earth next year. It really feels like the wheels are in full motion now, and production is quietly gearing up behind the scenes in New Zealand. And if you'd like to know more about the story about The Hunt for Gollum, we've made a lengthy cinematic video that dives deep into the plot and what we might expect, so be sure to check that out next. Moving on to gaming, there's some good news and some bad news, but let's get the bad out of the way first. Amazon has reportedly cancelled their new Lord of the Rings MMO, once again. According to a former senior gameplay engineer at Amazon Games, the entire development team was laid off as part of Amazon's recent company-wide job cuts. This is actually the second time that Amazon has tried to make a Middle-earth MMO. The first was scrapped back in 2021 after a rights dispute with Tencent. The latest version was said to be an open-world online adventure spanning the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, but development has now come to a stop before it even reached the public. Games like World of Warcraft have shown how massive and successful this kind of experience can be, and even The Lord of the Rings Online from 2007 is still running strong today with an active player base. So it's a real shame we won't get to see Amazon's modern vision for Middle-earth come to life. But there is some good news on the gaming front. According to Insider Gaming, a site with a strong track record for industry leaks, there's a new Lord of the Rings game currently in development, aiming to rival Hogwarts Legacy. Sources claim it's a third-person action RPG being funded in part by the Abu Dhabi Investment Office with around $100 million behind it. Embracer Group, the current owner of the Lord of the Rings gaming rights, is said to be involved along with several partner studios. And this could really be huge with unlimited potential. If the reports are true, we might finally be getting a large-scale open-world Middle-earth game that captures the epic feeling of The Witcher 3 or Skyrim, where you can instead freely explore Middle-earth. The recent Witcher 4 demo, built in Unreal Engine 5, already shows just how breathtaking next-gen worlds can look. Now imagine that same level of realism brought to Middle-earth, walking through the forest of Lothlorien or exploring the streets of Minas Tirith. If a future Lord of the Rings game looked anything like that, it would be something truly special. So, to recap, Ian McKellen has confirmed that he is indeed returning as Gandalf, Elijah Wood is back on New Zealand after having read the script, Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis' team is in full pre-production, and it seems like Tauriel could potentially be returning in the hunt for Gollum. It's all pointing towards the hunt for Gollum being the biggest and most authentic return to Middle-earth that we've had in decades. As for gaming, it's a bit of a mixed bag. One major project seems to be gone, but another potentially big one is on the horizon. Either way, the future of Middle-earth does look brighter than ever. If you want to stay up to date with all things Lord of the Rings, make sure to hit that subscribe button below, as we'll be covering all the news as soon as it happens. And if you're interested in picking up this Christmas sweater or any of our other merchandise, consider heading over to meupdates.shop. We truly appreciate every single purchase as it helps us out a ton. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, may the light of the Eldar be with you.